Why did you decide to submit this work to Shonen Jump Square?
I bought Jump Square at the time, so I submitted it here.
Please explain how you felt when you began, finished, and submitted the manuscript.
I was looking forward to getting paid.
How does that happen? Not true. What you just said, that's gobbledygook. Okay, that can't be true, because what can this dude do? Look at him. What could he pick? A
Successful manga series.
It's like this tall.
Chainsawman is an ongoing shonen jump manga made by Tatsuki Fujimoto. The story stuck with viewers for its lovable cast of brainlets and amazing, if at times dodgy, illustration. As such, head scratching ensues. What did Fujimoto make prior to his current works? With this video, I'll do my best to make a comprehensive timeline of Fujimoto's works. First, we have something that I deemed the void century. Tatsuki Fujimoto has been making manga ever since his first years in high school, when he started uploading them to a site called this. A lot of his works are presumably there, but since I don't know Japanese, I've had little success in finding them, leading them to being basically buried. Definitely Boson is a 5-chapter manga that stars some unnamed girl wandering into a snowy plain that encounters a friendly monster named Hirayama-san. The only thing the girl is able to pronounce is Teleposan. Because of that, her discussion with the monster goes nowhere, and he does his best to try to understand her, by first bringing her to his dad, and after that bringing her to Miyashita-kun, which seems to be some sort of leviathan. Both of these attempts are in vain, as Hirayama-kun is still not able to talk to the girl. After all, he becomes hungry for humans, grows a horn, and starts chasing the girl into an abandoned building. She meets a mysterious man and wakes up. It turns out that the whole story was her going through her mind, fixing something with the help of a new drug. This first manga I'm talking about speaks for most of Fujimoto's works. They feel like quickly made pieces of philosophy that say a lot more in a couple chapters than some mangas do in volumes. Sorry to start out on a somber note, but for the life of me I can't find it. This is yet to be scanlated. As such, I only found the cover. Sasaki-kun ga Judai Tometa. This is your average love story about a young boy falling in love with a cute teacher, with nothing of note happening. It's a story about a high school student with the determination to admit his love for a girl. They leave school, get to his place, and in the span of 20 pages, absurdity after absurdity keeps stopping him from admitting his feelings, with the protagonist repeatedly brushing the absurdities off, to comedic effect. Here you can see a bit of a trend with Fujimoto's writing. He likes deconstructing and subverging genres in a comedic way. The thing that this work really lacks would probably be in the illustration department? Rapstarty is a story about a young boy with a human father and a mermaid mother. He spends a lot of his time playing piano at the bottom of the ocean when one day he spots a mermaid girl listening to him. This evolves into a relationship where he goes every day, and at the sight of blood the mermaid gets all hot and bothered. This scares him in a way until he eventually accepts it as being her nature, and the manga ends with him playing a melody for a group of mermaids. The biggest improvement here has to be the art. Fujimoto has this problem where his line art resembles that of an Alzheimer's patient, but for the most part he makes up for it with knowledge of perspective and good character designs. Here you can really see him focusing more on backgrounds than in most of his works, and I will say, they do look amazing. Shikaku is a teenage girl hitman with a rough upbringing that gets assigned to kill an immortal vampire. After a couple failed attempts, she goes home only to realize she's fallen in love with the vampire, and at the end, the vampire saves her. After everything Fujimoto's published, this probably has to be the one that stands out the least. And I'm honestly not sure if that's a slight at the one-shot or me just dick-sucking the rest. The only thing that's notable here is the character design of Shikaku and how it presumably resembles Makima from Chainsawman. Yugan no Nayuta. Stars Keiji and his little sister Nayuta. Nayuta is, according to the prophecy, a demon child who will bring an end to this world. She is shown through her somewhat demonic appearance and inhuman speech patterns, where she's only capable of saying gory words. There's a portion of the population that wishes to kill Nayuta out of fear, and the rest that kinda just don't care about her existence and see the prophecy as nothing but a pastime for disgruntled old people. Something that straightens this point is a page where a politician tries to hijack the movement by shilling his political party, and mentions that magic isn't scarier than any kind of global catastrophes or any kind of nuclear weapon that pretty much every country already has. Mayuta kills all the farm animals in the nearby farm, and people then proceed to beat the living shit out of Kenji. This enrages her and she goes full genocide mode, but at the last second Kenji slaps her sense into her and she calms down. Afterwards they end up going to some remote place with few people, and they end up living there. This probably has to be my favorite one-shot in Fujimoto's catalog. The whole message of the story is that artificially creating fear in the unknown, we end up creating an enemy out of nothing. Nayuta's behavior is presumably an allegory for autism or anything that could stifle your ability to communicate with another person. The art in this one is definitely an upgrade, and some panels look absolutely beautiful. Same issue as Paper Plane. I scoured the internet, but I wasn't able to find anything. It's just gone. I'm sorry.
Apocalyptic beatdowns from the God Hand. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm. I summon up the powers of the God Hand.
Fire Punch was my initiation into Fujimoto's works. I recall people talking about it as if it was the second coming of anime Christ, and I'm not going to go over the whole plot because it would take too much, and because I'd be robbing you of a great experience. That being said, I'll talk about the first couple of chapters just so you have at least some idea as to what it is about. Fire Punch plays out in a world where people have superpowers. Agi, alongside his sister, are children that are saved by some village people from freezing to death. The villagers fed them while knowing that it would create a shortage of food. Agi's ability is regeneration. Ah, fuck. I guess the electricity stopped. Agi's ability is regeneration, and he decides that to pay back the villagers for saving him, he chops off his arm and gives it to them as food. Everything goes well and all until some settlers come to the town, and they try to find people with superpowers to help them. The problem with that is that one of the guys finds one of Agi's arms, and he assumes that the whole village is just cannibals. So what he does is he just everyone, because fuck it, why not? From then on, because Agi has regeneration ability, he can't die. So what ends up happening is he burns continuously for about 7 years, until eventually he learns to tolerate the pain and starts walking.
Agi uses the flames he was cursed with to begin his quest for exacting revenge onto the person who took everything from him. The art is mostly good since Fujimoto got help from some other mangakas, some of which proceeded to make their own works, and overall I'd say this is probably my favorite thing Fujimoto's ever put out. I would even say it beats Chainsawman, which at the time of this recording has been announced to have a sequel, so take it as you will. It's really epic, you should check it out. It retcons itself a couple times and changes its own narrative, which is great.
You've probably already noticed, but I'm recording this on a different occasion because, well, it was gonna look and sound really bad. Also, side note, as you can probably tell, I just got my new microphone. It's a Blue Yeti. The rest of the video is gonna be with this mic. Sorry for the change up. Hey, so I was gonna record this right now on a live action segment, but surprise, surprise, my lamps died. Again. Without decent lighting, my camera looks like dog shit, so I think I'm just gonna record it like this. Anyways, on with the video. Oh god, I'm gonna butcher this. Mewo Samitara Ononoko ni Neta Yamai is about a guy who wakes up and, I quote, gets "when I woke up I had become a girl" disease. I'm not fucking with you, that's actually what it's called. As you can venture to guess from the disease's name, much like most of Fujimoto's work, this doesn't take itself too seriously. After the main character becomes a girl, the guys try to
verbally and sexually assault him,
but he gets saved by his JF's brother, and then he becomes attracted to him. After he states this to his girlfriend, Yuri ensues, with her violently trying to take his clothes off, which is followed by a hysterical moment of the big brother walking in, only to walk out instantly after with the face of a Vietnam veteran. His sister suggests they have sex, and then he says, "Are you an idiot? You know," and proceeds to get slapped. What the fuck? We never get any explanation as to what she knows, but my assumption as to why he can't have sex with the protagonist is either because A, he likes My Hero Academia, or B, he has a girlfriend. We get no confirmation as to either, so your guess is as good as mine. Then he has a man-to-man, pun intended, talk with the protagonist and inspires him to go with his sister, and they end up walking romantically into the sunlight. This wasn't Fujimoto's best story, neither was it his best illustrated story, but goddamn was it funny to read. I'm someone who enjoys shock humor, and seeing his life continuously get fucked while the manga presents a respectable amount of self-awareness was hysterical. Niwa 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 Torigaita. In this world, whose name I refuse to pronounce again, aliens have defeated the human race and forced them into hiding. We follow two humans as they dress up in chicken costumes to hide until they eventually get caught. The aliens then try to eat them and they escape until a cop alien smashes one of them. It turns out that one of them was actually an alien himself. He was super powerful, and after an encounter with the girl in the other chicken costume, in which he killed all our friends, the alien was interested in why humans hold the hypocrisy of eating animals, whilst they refused to be eaten themselves. This was pretty heartfelt, and the alien's need to empathize with others is placed on full display, which I thought added a decent level of moral ambiguity. Besides that, it looks really just bad. It looks really bad. Not as bad as Tetele Boson, but still very bad. Emote no Ane stars two sisters, both of which study in art college. Much like everyone in art college, they're seething with anticipation at the future prospect of 9-to-5ing a low-end position at Burger King. The older sister's name is Kyoko, and the younger sister isn't named at all. Kyoko has a nude painting of her hung up at the school entrance. This results in a lot of embarrassment for her, as both the school and basically everyone she knows finds the drawing one way or another. It gets so bad that they even take a photo with it. When she goes to ask the school dean, he tells her she just has to talk to the artist. Then we learn that the artist is actually her sister, and the manga starts exploring their relationship. Through their whole childhood, Kyoko has had her little sister follow in her footsteps, while being better than her. Even with this knowledge, Kyoko was able to stay ahead by sheer force of will. We learned that the reason her little sister drew her was because the dean gave her an assignment to draw her inspiration in life, and the reason she was able to draw her naked so well, even while never having seen her naked, was because she spent her whole life looking at her in admiration. This is amazing. It's rare that you see mangas this short get their message across, especially a message that's this layered. The character dynamics were interesting, and I found the designs quite good as well. God, this video took a lot longer than I expected. Either way, it was pretty fun to make. Would I do it again? Probably. The next video could very well be Christmas themed, assuming I can get it out by then. It's not going to be as long as this one, and I'm going to have a friend on board. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Thanks for watching, have a good one.